It was a sad day. Katie discovered that you don't feel like eating when your best friend is moving away. Orbie found out that funny-faced balloons don't always cheer a sad person up. And they both learned that even happy music sounds sad when you are. Katie's best friend Carrie was moving away. Katie begged Dad to tell Carrie's dad that they just couldn't move. Dad explained that things sometimes had to change. Carrie's dad had a wonderful new job in another city. Katie sat out on the front steps waiting for Carrie. She was coming over to play for the last time. It wasn't a very happy feeling. Orbie tried to cheer her up, but to tell you the truth, only one thing would have made Katie happy, and that was if Carrie stayed. Carrie turned the corner and walked up the front walk. Katie looked at her friend. It had always made her happy to see Carrie, except for today. Today was the last time, and no matter how you looked at it, that was sad. Best friends just naturally go together. You can't break them up. Carrie told Katie that the truck was loading up all their furniture. The two girls went up to Katie's room. Orbie didn't go. He thought they needed to be together. Instead, he went to play with Chance. Carrie told Katie that her dad was so happy he couldn't wait to move. What nobody seemed to notice was that Carrie didn't want to go. Suddenly, Carrie jumped up on Katie's bed. She had a great idea. What if they ran away together and lived under the willow tree? Then nobody could break them up. Now, at most times, I think Katie would have known that running away is never the answer, but right now the thought of Carrie leaving was going away, and the thought of Carrie staying was getting very strong. So Katie agreed. As Mom was packing up some sandwiches and desserts for Carrie's family and Dad was trying to find a screwdriver, Carrie and Katie snuck out the front door. Katie had a sleeping bag and her favorite teddies. Teddies would be important at night. They snuck down the street to Mrs. Perrette's beautiful weeping willow tree. Nobody knew they were gone except for Orbie, who had been sitting talking to Chance. When Chance, who loved the teddies, saw them go by, she decided to follow. Orbie decided to follow Chance. Soon the two girls were nestled under the weeping willow. Katie thought they could stay there forever and nobody would find them, and Carrie giggled. When Orbie saw where Chance was going, he stopped. He looked at the tree and saw that it had 3 sets of legs. 2 were people, and 1 was cat. Katie told Chance that she could live with them too, as long as she didn't tell anyone where they were. Orbie turned around and went back home. But when he got there, Mom and Dad said it was almost time for Carrie's family to leave. He waited by the door for them. After a little while, the phone rang. It was Carrie's mom. Could Mom please tell Carrie they were on their way to pick her up? Mom asked Orbie to run upstairs and tell Carrie it was time to go. Orbie did, but he didn't feel good about it. When he told Mom Katie and Carrie weren't there, Mom was surprised. Orbie was feeling worse and worse because he knew where they were. He wanted to tell Mom and Dad as badly as anything, but he was afraid that Katie wouldn't be his friend anymore if he didn't keep the secret. Soon, Carrie's parents and Katie's parents were walking all over the neighborhood, calling them. Orbie tried to keep his secret, but then he couldn't anymore. He told Mom about the willow tree. Everybody ran. Orbie felt awful. Nobody liked to give away a secret. When they arrived at the special hiding place, all they found was a lumpy sleeping bag and 1 orange cat. Mom thought the 2 girls were hiding inside the bag. She was starting to get a little angry. The girls had caused them all to worry. When Dad unzipped the sleeping bag, he found 2 stuffies and no girls. Mom and Carrie's parents were worried. I think Mom was pretty close to crying a little bit, but Dad gently squeezed her arm. Just then, Mrs. Perrette called from the house. She had found two little lost souls under the tree. Mom felt so much better. She and Carrie's mom hugged. Mrs. Perrette pointed out that there wasn't anything much worse than losing a friend, and everybody had to agree. Then she explained that she had two old lockets from when she was a little girl, and she never wore them anymore. Carrie's dad was worrying about getting to the new house on time and wanted to get going, but Carrie's mom put her hand in his to tell him to wait a minute. They had been so excited that he had a great new job that they had not taken Carrie's sad feelings into consideration. They should have. They had made a mistake, as parents sometimes do. Carrie's dad stood still. She was right. Mrs. Perrette told the girls that the wonderful thing about lockets was that you wore them close to your heart, exactly where a best friend belonged. She put a picture of each girl in the other's locket. When they felt lonely, all they had to do was hold the locket and think of their friend. When they did that, they would get a wonderful, warm feeling because someone loved them so much. And do you know that when Carrie and Katie said goodbye, they held their lockets? They hugged each other and promised to be best friends forever, which, of course, is the only way to be best friends. After Carrie's family drove away, Katie felt sad. She waved until the car disappeared. Orbie burbled that he wished he could be as good a friend as Carrie so Katie would feel happy again. Katie was confused. Then she smiled and threw her arms around his neck. "You are my best friend too," she said. Orbie didn't know you could have lots of best friends. Katie held her locket and explained. Mrs. Perrette said it was wonderful to have best friends in other cities. They were great for visiting, and that was a good start on the project. Orbie didn't understand. Katie opened up her arms. The project is that you have to get busy and fill the whole world with best friends. And do you know that to this very day, that is exactly what they're doing? Maybe you should try it too.